Good evening, Pune. I'm Praveen Rao, Director Marketing at SAP India. The 13th event in this series is happening in this lovely city of Pune. Global Bharat Movement is just not a marketing campaign for SAP. It is truly a movement that started in 2021, right in the midst of pandemic. As SAP, we realized that thousands, perhaps lakhs of companies and businesses in India who did not go the cloud way or who did not embrace digital were left in a lurch. We brought our first cloud edition called Rise with SAP just around those times, and we created a community called growthmattersforum.com. Now, Growth Matters Forum is a thriving community of 30,000 plus mid-sized companies in India who came and joined us not only to seek one-way benefit of direction, guidance, resources, but guess what? We've discovered a lot of mentors from that community who stood out to extend help in very many ways to the fellow members in the community. Global Bharat Movement campaign in 2023, we are committed to reach each and every cluster in India which needs that help to go the cloud way, to adopt digital without any jargons or fancy stuff, and you'll realize it today in our agenda. This time, we are committed to go and touch 25 clusters in south, east, central, west, and north of India. The journey is just halfway in Pune today, and we would be covering rest of the Maharashtra. On that note, I would request the team to bring up the video of our journey so far in the Global Bharat Movement.
India is projecting a more self-assured version of itself to the world than ever before. Paving the way to this bulletproof economy are our homegrown businesses. Taking our growth story beyond key business hubs of India to emerging industry clusters across Bharat. As key industry clusters fire the growth engine of a new India, SAP India, in association with TV9 Network, celebrates India's holistic techno-economic growth. Welcome to Global Bharat Movement, a traveling roadshow that brings together eminent business leaders, tech visionaries, and practitioners across diverse sectors. The Global Bharat Movement 2.0 kicked off in style at a gala function in Bengaluru on 24th March. Chief Architect of Aadhaar, Dr. Pramod Verma, set the tech-led development narrative, talking about key pillars of Digital India.
India now runs world's largest direct benefit transfer program, DBT. 860 million people, 86 crore people have bank account attached to their Aadhaar.
In 5 weeks, the roadshow has traveled to 7 cities in the south. The South leg culminated with a thought-provoking keynote by Dr. Raj Gopal from IIT Madras Incubation Cell. The roadshows received an overwhelming response from participants.
2 months implementation, all credits to the team which came along with that. Their knowledge, in fact, it's what that helped. And it's a very good planned, like we planned months before itself, before we start all the operations, and great support from SAP also with respect to that.
From any technology point of view, the ease at which you can extract something is what drives innovation. And similar with SAP, I'm sure, as the gentleman pointed out, 4 weeks of implementation compared to, say, months earlier is the time.
And now, the stage is set for Global Bharat Movement, creating waves across the rest of India.
Throughout this journey, we have had our partners collaborating at each city level, and I'm extremely thankful to Primus for joining hand for the Pune edition of Global Bharat Movement. Roll into our session today, and I would like to invite my colleague and Regional Sales Director, Ms. Vibha Raina, who would be talking about the state of mid-market, and she would take you through the journey of SAP's public cloud.
Global Bharat Movement is SAP's ode to all of you. India's mid-market, the backbone of our economy, that not only stood the test of time, but came out resilient and more self-reliant. I mean, look at us, economy of our scale, withstood the global shocks, not only withstood the global shocks, but came out stronger than ever before. Now, this was possible essentially because of the digital policies of our government. We came out of COVID so well. This was due to the unprecedented vaccination drive that was supported by the Aadhaar network. Let's put some factors to back it up. I wish to share with you 4 lag indicators that will, basically substantiate our collective belief that India is poised for mid-term and long-term well-rounded growth. The first one that I would like to bring here is non-agricultural credit offtake. What does this essentially mean? It means the capital available with the businesses to invest. For our country, it's around 13%, but for mid-market sector, it's growing at a pace of 30% year on year, which is damn good. The second fact that I want to share with you, the GDP. India's GDP is between 6.5 to 7%. Now, this clearly is greater than what it was pre-COVID levels. But the special part about India's GDP now is that it is backed mostly by domestic demand. The third indicator is inflation. We all know it's falling. In fact, it will taper off by the end of this calendar year. The fourth indicator, all of us know, it is GST collection, which is at around 1.5 lakh crore plus month on month. What does this indicate? Economic resilience, and again, domestic demand offtake. Now let's see how are these factors impacting our IT spend. The rise of public cloud adoption and global inflationary pressures are leading to negative decline of growth when it comes to hardware and data center. What we also see here is that software revenue is increasing. It essentially means businesses are now future-proofing their organizations by moving their core applications to the cloud. The rate at which we see the mid-market segment adopting cloud is phenomenal. Since 2000, 52% of the Fortune 500 companies have gone out of business. The simple reason is that they have not innovated enough. From 1955 to 2011, Fortune 500 companies used to take around 20 years to reach a $1 billion evaluation. Cut to today, digital startups, digital natives. Any guesses how much time do they take to reach the $1 billion economy? 4 years. Why is that? Because they put innovation at the forefront of their business. They are using digital tools to know their customers, their suppliers, their competition, the market, and they end up servicing their customers better. They know the customer needs better. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say here is that we have to keep innovating, and it's not a one-time thing. Businesses have to keep exploring uncharted sources of revenue. It can be new partnerships, new market, new product line, new geographies. And this component will essentially culminate into 20% of their business. Last but not the least, data and analytics. What was good to have has become necessity now. And it's just not, doing decision-making, data-driven decision-making is not enough. Businesses now want to predict that what is the impact of this decision going to be on their future. So what is SAP doing to help the mid-market? To help the mid-sized customers really overcome this growth challenge and to help them grow with technology, SAP is proud to introduce Grow with SAP. It's a cloud ERP solution that is designed for the mid-market of India. It's a complete offering of solution bundled with best practices for 25 industries that will help you adopt cloud with simplicity, predictability, and continuous innovation. What is the challenge the world is facing? Their dependency on limited suppliers is leading to their supply chain becoming fragile. Who to hire, when to hire, and where to hire is a continuous challenge for the world. The cost of money is increasing, and more so because of financial and political disruption. Most of you have outgrown your current ERP. So this is where S4HANA Cloud comes into picture. Now, you can run on industry standard, taking advantage of our best practices from SAP's experience of 50 years in the ERP business. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and you have lesser time to value. Now, let me invite my colleague Swapnil to the stage, who will dive deeper into Grow with SAP offering of SAP. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Whenever we are talking about digital transformation or digitization, we need to have that growth mindset. We need to have that mindset where we want to take the risk and adapt to the new changes. Once you have that growth mindset, SAP will provide you that cloud ERP, which will provide you end-to-end business processes. It will also help you to channelize your internal resources to create that differentiation apart from your basic ERP capabilities. So let me just start with, when we talk about industry-based best practices, is that we cover end-to-end processes where you can have your sales processes, you have your leads for your businesses, how you can convert those leads into actual contract. Now, while doing that, the most essential part for any organization is the finance. And finance is the heart for any business. With SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud Edition, you get one single source of financial truth with universal journal, parallel accounting, and with latest offering Green Ledger to also track your emissions, carbon emissions, scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. Because that is also a necessity now to have that sustainability in place in your organization. So it is important that the tool that you're looking for is adaptable to all these changes. And that is why we are providing you pre-packaged based content for your business processes. So we have all this content available for you publicly, where you can go through each and every business process. You can also go through which are all personas are going to access that business processes. You also need that your internal resources need to be trained. They need to have the first view of the application which they are going to use. So you have inbuilt task tutorials or click-through prototypes where users can actually go through the product even before buying it. The end user of your organizations who is going to take the decision, he needs to have that data correctly presented in an UI, no matter where he is operating from. And that is where the S/4HANA Cloud's next generation UX, which has embedded analytics and embedded intelligence, which is platform agnostic. So it has, web browser, web applications, mobile applications are already there. But you can also access these applications on your smartwatch. All the security threats, all the vulnerability tests, all the security monitoring, aggregated together, we are giving you end-to-end full application stack SLA for 99.7%. SAP is taking ownership for that entire SLA. For each of the organization, it is very, very important that they distinguish themselves from the other competition and stand out and grow. For that, you will also need some amount of customizations, some amount of personalizations. The tool has to be flexible to adapt to the new changes. So we have inbuilt low-code, no-code capabilities with S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, which will allow you to create custom analytics, which will allow you to create different custom forms. When we are dealing with a large supplier vendor network, contractors, external systems, you also need some provision where you can deploy, host your custom applications. And that is where our pro-code capabilities with business technology platform comes into the picture. Cloud ERP is at the center to start and stabilize your business processes and at the organization level, which is based on top of business technology platform. So business technology platform is the glue that holds entire organization activities together. So we start with the basic ERP capabilities, but on top of that, you need to manage your human resources. For that, we have success factors, which is covered under our human experience cloud solutions. Now, for the next part of the session, to take you through how SAP will help you grow without limits, let me invite my colleague Mayank Anand. He will take you first.
So S/4HANA has that inbuilt capability where you can, bundle all those, services all together. So basically, all of them having, one order to cash cycle individually can be bundled together, and that gives you that one margin view of all those, offering all together. So basically, you are moving from a product-centric approach to a, service-centric approach in that manner. When you are working in different, regions and all, SAP is also support in a lot of manner that basically we have those set of localizations available in all the regions. So SAP provides 51 localized localizations in that part, and it's also available in 32 languages. So basically, it all in all, it provides you with the capabilities to grow without limits. So when we talk about industry best practices, it's basically pre-configured best practices which are part as an offering in S/4HANA Cloud. So you could have all those pre-configured practices processes running in your system. Those are provided with a lot of documentation, business flows, and test scripts. So basically, customers can go through them. They can understand their scope, and they can finalize their scope and understand the benefits of that. And then they can come up with a fit to standard approach, what fits exactly their business, right? And then we can move to a detailed discovery assessment, which is nothing but basically it talks about all the business best practices that is applicable to your business. You can choose out of them, you can choose a scope out of them, and it fast paces your process to move to start your cloud journey. We have a robust partner ecosystem who are well versed with the industry's part and all, which are there to help companies to onboard to this or start their cloud journeys, and they also come up with their industry cloud solutions altogether in different areas. Now there are organizations who just want to go live in a faster pace, and they just want to have those best practices activated for them so that they can be up and running in a very quick time to run their business processes. So in that manner, we also have those capabilities or inbuilt activation packages, which talks about certain baseline processes which are applicable to a lot of companies, which can be activated in a very quick time, and customers can be up and running in a matter of 4 weeks only. So basically that kind of speed and agility is also the system is capable, and we as SAP is when customers want to start their cloud journey, it's possible in that way. SAP comes with a very strong community. So where a lot of customers they can collaborate, they can engage with each other, and they can talk about their cloud journeys, and which kind of helps them to grow together and come together in their cloud journeys together. And then we have SAP Learnings also as a part of that. So basically it provides you a platform where customers they can have a lot of free training material available there, which they can they can look into it, they can learn from it. So thanks a lot.
Noka Arc Robotics and his founder is here amongst us today, my friend. Please give a big round of applause to Nikhil Kurele. Nikhil, stage is yours. We would love to talk about how your company is committed to make medical science affordable for the masses.
What we are trying to build right now in Noka Arc is we are building smart medical devices and digital ecosystem to make critical care smart. And SAP definitely is one of the inspirations for what we are trying to do, because what everyone just talked about, like before me, about digitization and smartness, the criticality of data, the criticality of decision making. That is what we are trying to solve in the critical care space. But what we are doing is the current scenario. But let me go back and just give you an idea of how we started. So this is year 2017 when we started in a 200 square feet room in IIT Kanpur, incubation center. I graduated in 2016 from IIT Kanpur. Then just after 10 months, the product which you see in the the cart is actually our first product, which was a waterless solar panel cleaning robot. The idea was basically solar was growing. The idea was that India had a target of around 100 gigawatt of solar by 2022. India already superseded its target of 2020. So we decided, yaar, yahan pe to bahut potential hai, ye banate hain. So that is how we got into the solar industry. We were the first Indian company which commercialized that product. We were doing really good. We just started in less than 10 months, we sold our first order. We got our first order from Adani Green Energy Limited, and they're known to delay the payment, but fortunately, we got our full payment because of the quality of the solution. So when we got the first order from Adani Green Energy Limited, we decided to raise investment, and we went to Iron Fund, which happens to be a venture capital arm. We raised $1.6 million. The idea was basically to settle in Pune, build a team, build R&D systems, and develop a vendor and make everything in India. That was the idea. While we were able to do that, by the month of January, we started working with almost 10, 12 top solar park developers. Soon COVID lockdown came. And that is when the journey, what we are doing right now, started. Out of a sudden, we got a message from one of the mentors who happens to be the head of incubator center in IIT Kanpur कि यार कोविड के लिए टेक्नोलॉजी बनानी है, PMO ऑफिस से मैसेज आए, कर सकते हो क्या? So that is when we decided why not we take a risk. That is when we decided we'll develop an ICU ventilator. So 22nd March, lockdown happened. 23rd, we decided we'll make a ventilator. 27th morning, we had the first proof of concept of a pressure controlled ventilator ready. And that is how we actually got into the ventilator. Actually successful in a way that in the second wave of COVID, because while in the first wave when we supplied ventilator, one thing which we realized है, हमने बनाया तो engineering solution है, but it actually is competing with companies like Philips and GE. It actually was. And one thing which actually helped us build that product to that level was one rule which we made internally in our organization is कि science को कोई गलत नहीं बोलेगा. So if this equation is coming this way, so we made one rule कि while discussing, we'll write things down so that everything becomes transparent. It's not an emotion. We took out the emotions from the discussion. So science was the guiding principle. So that is how we made our ventilator. And we became one of the largest suppliers of ICU ventilator in the country. We supplied around 3,600 ventilators across India. We have estimated to save close to 50,000 plus lives. Unfortunately, we could not do more, but that itself is an achievement for us, and that keeps our team motivated. We are still, the same ventilator which we designed during COVID is still one of the highest selling ventilator in this particular segment, in the entry level segment. So this is the products which we are making right now. The first product which you see is the ventilator which was designed in COVID. We are still selling that ventilator. We have a 3% market share in the ventilator with just that product. Then the new product which has been introduced, the middle one which you see, is the smartest ventilator in the world. This product has already been tested in Symbiosis and other hospitals. Then another product which you see is the Horizon View suite of cloud products. What you mentioned, we definitely are trying to benchmark like the large companies like SAP, Microsoft. So one thing which we realized is that digitization is the future. Digitization and data is the actual future. No matter if it is a MSME or an organization, wherever there's a data, wherever there's an exchange of information, it is actually about digitization. It has to be cloud, it has to be simple, and that is where Horizon View suite of products comes in the picture. We are a team of 74, out of which we have a strong women-led team of 7. And we are present pan-India. We have already filed 23 patents, out of which 2 have already been granted. We have a R&D facility which actually has been appreciated by some large companies like Philips as well, when they visited, Philips Netherlands teams, when they visited us. Today, what you are trying to tell to the MSMEs, and that is what we experienced firsthand, because our revenues were 60, 70 lakhs a month, and we even reached, in a month's time, we reached a revenue of 4.5 CR a day. So that was only possible because everything which we were doing in our facility was digitized. So it's our paperless facility, and that is something actually helped us. And we are working with a global layer of vendors of more than 250 people. There have been numerous examples where manufacturing companies have gone through discussions of multiple acquisitions, but later during the due diligence, the valuation drops to 50% or 60% just because the data and the real numbers do not match. And that is where the data, the digitization of data and keeping track through ERP systems and process comes to a very, very important aspect, and that is something which we feel is very important. We are trying to build that in our organization. And this is all I have to share with you, and I hope I did honor justice to the platform and would love to interact. Thank you so much.
A fantastic round of applause. Thank you, Nikhil. SAP has been successful in doing what we do today because of our partners in India. Our partners have been our extension to help land what we aspire to do for our customers. They guide our customers, they not only implement, that they handhold even after implementation. On that note, I would wish to bring up our partner on stage, Primus. Mr. Sambhaji, I would request you to please come and give your session. Thank you.
SAP has completed 27 years, and I'm into SAP ecosystem for 24 years now. So have been doing SAP implementations more from a customer-centric, so I come from the same, crowd that you all are sitting on the customer side. Did SAP for Crompton Greaves as my first job. 37 localizations for 37 units of Crompton, and then moved to HCL, Wipro, EDS, and then Primus Tech Systems. So, today we talk about leads, capturing the leads to realizing fulfillment and order to cash, we used to call it in the past. those days, moving from there to automating processes, so R2 coming to R3, my first implementation upgrade was 3.0F to 3.1H, running the same processes. And then we started actually talking about digital transformation. Now, where this digital transformation started, we started talking about utilizing web-based, mobile-based accesses to automate the processes. So SAP GUI plus the components which are like supplier relationship management, customer relationship management, analytics, all that put together, and then how I can have the intelligence built over mobile or over handheld to, so that my decision making can happen fast. Today's system that we look at, I go into a system and my authority says that you can approve a PO, I approve a PO, and if I have to get the information, what do? Is I ask probably my inventory specialist to tell me how much is the inventory lying for the purchases which I am approving, what were the old purchase orders. I might have to go inside the system and see through all that. Is my system today supporting me with intelligent insights, telling me that the approval that I am making for a purchase order, how much is the risk that I am carrying? A material which has got certain trend of consumptions, and I am approving a purchase order where probably my user must have made a mistake of one additional quantity 0, which might be adding impact on my capital investment, working capital investment, which might be adding the impact on my the overall cash flow. Point is what? Today's generation do not want to do analysis by themselves. They want everything inside analytics. Is my system supporting that? The moment we are talking about me making the specific industry intelligent, the next move is, can I have my network, business network intelligent? And then, is there any solution, such solution which supports me making myself intelligent, my applications intelligent, and also making my supply chain or my supplier network or my digital network or business network intelligent? And this entire background makes or brings the innovations in the industry, the old way of we talking about Kaizens, the improvements. These are the improvements which are being made available by SAP to use it. These all benefits, these all objectives puts back a necessity of digital transformation. Now, digital transformation, we have been hearing like this IT department becoming like, CIO working as a CDO, CTO, and many, many words. What does that digital transformation means really to each of those individuals? If I am an IT individual or a CIO, I start looking at digital transformation. How can I have maybe usage of sensors, usage of IoT, whereas as a part of my CEO, CFO, and all those, what is my digital transformation requirement is, how can I have real-time decision making? You may use whatever, you may use your Industry 4.0, you may do automations, you may do whatever, but I need my data real-time. I need it from anywhere. Processes have to be absolutely connected. No duplication of the data. The newer trends, we have had one of the innovation that we have been working with all our auto component partners. A requirement is how can you increase either my sales or my profitability. You help me in top line or in bottom line. We are working on that wherein SAP BTP with e-commerce engine developed, where all the aftermarket sell of my auto component suppliers, how can I have that made available where all the retailers are connected on the system and the ordering can happen directly from the retailer to the manufacturer. The business models are completely changing. Is the system supporting me to build such business models in a fastest time? The first product of SAP, which was R2, became R3, which was rewritten. Why is this important is to understand how this product is completely different than what we were doing it in past, keeping the same core at the back end, keeping the same processes, same sturdiness, same log shipping, same auditor's experience, but a completely new version of it to the businesses. So product rewritten to become R3, rewritten when it was on-premise S4HANA, and now it is completely rewritten for S4HANA public cloud. If you have done something innovative in terms of your automation in your, say, procurement cycles, automation in your production-based systems where your sensors are picking up your production data and so on, those all systems which are presently maybe residing outside your core SAP application or any other custom applications can actually be brought in onto SAP BTP and can be directly connected with SAP systems. It will have its embedded intelligence. It will have its embedded code, low-code, no-code platforms made available on the SAP BTP platform. About us, maybe that can give little more understanding about Primus Tech Systems. I thought we should have a solution-related work first, demonstrated what we have done in the recent times. We were the first ones to extend the SAP S4HANA public cloud solution in the West, and some of the very good experiences that we have had here. As a company, we are, this is 14th year of our inception, and have been working in the West with 108 customers. With all your support, we could able to implement 30 plus SAP S4HANA on-premise implementations. I was talking about we have got 4 S4HANA public cloud. We got a few private cloud implementations, SuccessFactor, Concur implementations. We have good case studies in that. So this is what I wanted to talk about Primus and what journey that we are trying to put forward for our customers in terms of reaching out to making the businesses intelligent. Thank you so much, SAP.
Thank you, Mr. Sambhaji. Without wasting much time, I wish to quickly invite my panelist. I have with me Mr. Dhwanit Malani, CEO Bitwise. I would request Ms. Nikita Joshi, Head of Global Finance, ZS, and I would request Mr. Swaminathan, CIO Noble Hospitals, to please be on the stage. So let me first begin with Nikita, you. When it comes to technology, what is your perspective, and what have you done in the recent years to help your company succeed with technology?
As you rightly said, Praveen, finance as a function historically has been seen as a scorekeeper. You store the data and then you show the insights. However, in the recent times, what I am seeing that finance are no longer just required to keep the score, but also become a strategic partner to drive value. So there's a change. I mean, there's no less importance to what we've been doing so far. It requires a lot of laborious effort of storing the data, stitching the data together, creating reports, making those insights.
What is it that you would wish to advise to the mid-sized companies, CFOs, CEOs, and the IT heads sitting in the room? Should they take the leap for technology now? Should they wait? Should they keep experimenting? What's your perspective, and what did Bitwise do about it? Because you're also an SAP customer for a very long period of time.
So really, from a technology perspective, I don't think there is ever a wrong time to step in. Things are going to constantly change. The technology and the technology domain itself has made sure that they keep themselves in business by making sure these upgrades keep coming in. So it's never going to happen that this is like the last stage, the best stage, and you're going to start investing in the technology. Most of the time is spent in that, in arguing, debating whether this data is correct. There are various perspectives around that data. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is that time is lost and you're not looking at the insights that we can draw from there. So that part of getting into technology and ensuring that you are, rather, all of us are sort of focused on bringing insights from the data rather than questioning the data. I think that itself is a very, very important aspect of moving into technology immediately and drawing those insights from that set of data that as an organization we are collecting. The catalyst, in fact, our project was called Catalyst when we started off implementing SAP, was that now we don't really look at whether the data is correct or wrong. That data quality that was needed to come in for us to make those decisions essentially had happened once SAP came into the picture. And I think that has been one of the key boons for us to start focusing on insights rather than questioning the data.
How do you, as a CIO, how do you navigate or fathom all of these together for a hospital of your stature to come stronger and intelligent out of this whole data lake that you would be dealing with?
See, now every healthcare is planning for a transformation. Earlier, the prescriptions are manually prepared. Now they are digitizing everything. So we also have a clinical research center where the voluminous data is gathered. A lot of data are created. In fact, during the COVID, we had more than 150 percentage occupancy. So a lot of volume data has been created. I'm almost 15 months there. So the data, when I evaluated, they were scattered and not in a centralized location. The analysis was becoming a difficult task. Now, in a hospital, typically, as you rightly said, the information is very vital and it has to be very much secured. And patient safety, patient security is very important. Now, we have ventilator in our ICUs. Now, we are working on connecting the ventilator into the ICU, into using an IoT device, where the ventilator's data is, on a real-time basis, pushed to a software. That software, there's a mobile app where every doctor or clinicians uses it. On a real-time basis, the ventilator parameters are captured and prompted with the threshold. There is an alert notification also sent to the consultant. So we are able to achieve immediate clinical support or clinical care to the patient. Earlier they used to have half an hour data capture and call up the doctor, and this has become a real time. The patient care has become more critical and it has improved a lot. So that's how we have moved to cloud. Cloud has helped us a lot. We are also evaluating SAP for our other functions like procurement and ERP finance. We have a strong HIMS and EMR in place now. So going forward, every hospital, need to move to a cloud to have a better availability of the data and more secure towards the data, and it will help them to analyze further also.
So on that note, that was on a lighter note. Thank you so much. I think all of you were fantastic. Great session. A big round of applause for our fellow panelists today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have a very special guest in the room today, Mr. Krishna Kumar Goyal, CMD Kohinoor Group, on stage, and talk about their journey of growth in this part of the country and how did they succeed with technology. Sir?
सबसे पहले तो मैं ग्लोबल भारत इनको धन्यवाद देता हूं कि सभी लोगों ने अपनी ग्रोथ स्टोरी और स्टार्टअप्स इसके बारे में आपको बताया। 1983 में हमने एक कंपनी चालू की थी। पहला ग्रोसरी शॉप था, फिर हार्डवेयर, टाइल्स, सीमेंट का ट्रेडिंग किया, उसमें पैसे कमाए। उससे फिर लगा कि भाई नहीं, पहले मैंने जब टेलको से सप्लाई करता था वहाँ पर पैसे कमाए, उससे घर बनाया। घर बनाते बनाते ध्यान में आया कि यही बिजनेस में क्यों नहीं जाए। तो मैंने हार्डवेयर, टाइल्स, सैनिटरी वेयर बिजनेस चालू किया, सीमेंट का बिजनेस चालू किया। वो करने के बाद मुझे मालूम पड़ा जब बिल्डर्स आते थे स्कूटर पे और 2 साल में ही मारुति कार में घूमते थे, तो मुझे लगा इस बिज़नेस में ज़्यादा प्रॉफिट है। तो मैं फिर डाइवर्सिफाई हुआ कंस्ट्रक्शन में, प्लॉटिंग बिजनेस किया, वेयर हाउसिंग बिजनेस किया। आज भगवान की दया से 200-250 एकड़ में हमारा वेयर हाउसिंग चल रहा है चाकंड और रांजनगांव में। और स्टील का फैक्ट्री डाला, पहले 6 mm का डाला था। करते करते अभी वो पोलाद ब्रांड हमारा जालना में 2500 टन का प्रोडक्शन कर रहा है। कहने का मकसद इतना ही है कि ग्रोसरी शॉप से चालू होकर हार्डवेयर, टाइल, सीमेंट का जर्नी किया। और आज कोहिनूर ग्रुप का नाम पूरे पूना में इसलिए है कि हम लोग बहुत विश्वास रखते हैं ऑनेस्टी से बिजनेस करना, हार्डवर्क करना। हमारा 8,000 फ्लैट्स का डिलीवरी हो चुका है। आज का कोहिनूर ग्रुप का पूरे पूना में 18 स्कीम चालू है। कम से कम 7 मिलियन स्क्वायर फुट का काम अभी आज की तारीख में चालू है। रेजिडेंशियल है, कमर्शियल है। कमर्शियल अभी हमने कोहिनूर वर्ल्ड टावर नाम से पिंपरी में बनाया है। 8.5 लाख फुट का कंस्ट्रक्शन हमने 27 मंथ में कंप्लीट किया है। एक रिकॉर्ड ब्रेक है और क्वालिटी आप जाके देख सकते हैं वहाँ पर कि इसमें एक ही बात ध्यान में रखनी है, अगर जो स्पीड करेगा कंस्ट्रक्शन में, जिसको सक्सेस होना है, जो स्पीड काम से काम करेगा वही पैसा कमाएगा। जो स्लोली करेगा तो सारे ओवरहेड उसके सारा प्रॉफिट उसमें ही निकल जाएगा। इसलिए मैं मेरे रियल इस्टेट में जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं उनको सलाह दूंगा कि आप डिसिप्लिन से काम करो, आपको सक्सेस निश्चित है। मित्रों, मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि 2-3 चीज़ ध्यान में रखो। डेडिकेशन, डिटर्मिनेशन जिसको कहा जाता है, हार्डवर्क, ऑनेस्टी, और जो हम जबान देते हैं उस जबान को अगर हम पालेंगे तो सक्सेस कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। मैं सभी को कहूँगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी अपनाइए और उसके जरिए अपनी प्रगति आपकी 100% है। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
मूविंग फर्दर, सिंस हमने टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन की बात की, अब हमारे जो नेक्स्ट स्पीकर है, द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर दैट वी हैव इज फ्रॉम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एज्योर. I would wish to call upon Mr. Robin Garg. He is the SAP specialist at Microsoft, and he would talk about the marriage between the two companies, how SAP and Microsoft comes together, and what's new for the world in the world of Microsoft.
Key things which Microsoft did in the last year, which was in 2022, we were the first, hyperscaler to adopt Rise with SAP globally, right? We have 120,000 users globally who touch an SAP system every day. And this particular landscape has over 60 plus terabytes of data, which is in a compressed form on Rise with SAP. ChatGPT service is publicly available, as most of you must be aware, on Azure OpenAI, where this comes as a very private and a secure service. And how it integrates with the SAP system, because SAP has also introduced multiple AI use cases, wherein in the Rise ecosystem they are bringing ChatGPT and an integration between Rise. ChatGPT and SAP integration on a Rise platform, right? That will basically help you to reconcile all the income statements, all the accounting statements. Another important important integration which has come is with SuccessFactors, which is a HR-based solution, one of the leader in the market from SAP. And in this particular solution, the help which is coming is for our HR heads. If they want to conduct some interviews for their candidates, they want to ask the question as per the job profile, as per the and conduct an interview in a very professional manner. Then ChatGPT on the Microsoft Teams platform itself, it will throw the questions to the interviewer, and they will be able to finish that interview in a quick amount of time, in a very automated way, and entire data will actually go back into the SAP SuccessFactors. In the middle of the slide, you will see SAP, which is the core, right, which is running on the Rise platform. And on the right-hand side, you will see a lot of Edge or IoT data, which you can avail by using many of the Microsoft services like Azure IoT, etc. Right? With the help of this, you can make a very successful data lake kind of a story on a single fabric of Microsoft Azure, and all the SAP data, all the non-SAP data can be integrated as well. Thank you.
I'm inviting my colleague Amandeep Kaur Buddhiraja, who's Solution Specialist, Center of Excellence, Business Technology Platform, on stage. And Aman will take you through some of the very interesting aspects of how SAP is shaping up into a low-code, no-code, and most interestingly, embracing generative AI. Aman, over to you.
We've heard about BTP, right? We've heard about Business Technology Platform, and you've seen this slide, Swapnil presented it. So what really is BTP? What really is Business Technology Platform? Think of it like an end-to-end stack of offerings or services which have been bundled together and are now made available to customers to leverage for their innovations. Now, this is also the stack on which our SAP technology is built, right? So our ERP, our line of business solutions, all of them are actually built on this technology, BTP, and we are packaging it as a platform, as a service, and making it available to our customers to innovate at their pace and to add, innovations in their landscapes surrounding the core. Roughly, if you split it up, we have the app development, the analytics and database and data management, integration suite. We have various partner applications which have already been built on BTP and are available out of the box for your consumption, unique use cases which you can plug and play. There are intelligent technologies which are available like generative AI, you have blockchain, you have, you have IoT and so on and so forth. And of course, we also have the extension suite, which is around the app modernization. So what we are essentially doing at SAP is we are trying to establish a business data fabric architecture, which not only brings your SAP data into one place, of course, also non-SAP data. Also, it could be your on-premise data. It could be your cloud data. It could be your structured data. Of course, structured data has to come in. But it could also be your unstructured data from various devices and various sources which is being gathered across the life cycle of your different stakeholders. It gives you a head start, right? And it also allows you the ability to reduce your time to value. So this becomes very, very important. And this also includes packages around your planning models, analytical reports and dashboards, and also absolutely around the integration piece. So we have a lot of best practice content which is also available here, right? So you see these 3,000 plus pre-built integration flows, iFlows, which are available for you to plug and play. And of course, these can be customized. But the idea is to get you started very, very quickly. And there is also AI built into this offering, which allows you, with the help of an integration advisor, you're able to actually leverage AI to be able to suggest the kind of integration that will work between these two systems that you're looking at. So that is around the integration piece. Now we have moved on to something called low-code, no-code, right? And this is essentially where citizen developers, and I'll tell you who a citizen developer is, citizen developers get the tools to be able to build the applications. Now, who is a citizen developer? A citizen developer is essentially the owner of the business who understands the business process, right? May not be a coder, may not know how to write a few lines of code or build an application, but now has the tools to be able to build those applications just by dragging and dropping. So just like you make a PPT, you pick up elements, you put them onto the slides. Similarly, you use something called SAP Build, right? And you drag and drop elements, you design your UI, you connect it to the backend, low-code, no-code offering from SAP, which augments your core, helps you innovate faster without writing a single line of code. So thank you so much for listening. And if you are interested in connecting further on this.
Let me assure you, we have a final session to go. I'm inviting my colleague, Nikhil Kamath. He would be talking about intelligent spend management.
Look at some of these challenges automotive industry is facing in terms of a lot of regulations, right? There is CAF, there is BS6 phase 2, there is E20 fuel compliance. Of course, BRSR is also part of it. EV push is happening. Airbags related regulations are supposed to come up. Also, this industry is supposed to grow somewhere around 5 to 7%. Now, why I took this example is there are a lot of these things which are happening parallelly as the growth is happening. Export, of course, India has a target to export, which means you're going to export to European and American countries or US, North American countries, which are going to demand more and more. If I take example of automotive industry, which is going to grow by 5 to 7%, right? I also want to ensure my cost remains fairly stable under all the fluctuations which are going to happen. Also, if you look at the automotive example, there are so many changes happening. So the time to market is becoming very, very important. How fast I can do it, the speed at which I change this, right? Now, this is where, if I want to see how much cost reduction I can bring on the direct. Now, interesting thing is, yes, direct is the most controlled one, commodity and all, but we have seen commodity price fluctuations also. How do I focus on this part of the COGS and achieve benefits out of it? Now, the first part is, there are five levers, I would say, right, in terms of cost savings, because it's all about cost savings. One is focusing on indirect materials, if I can get my prices down. Second one is focusing on direct materials. Again, as I said, it's not just running a reverse auction. If I take a snapshot of industrial machinery or tier 1 or tier 2 automotive, these are the areas where we have seen a good amount of cost reduction been brought in. A lot of them are non-inflationary as well, as you can see, and this is the benefits which a lot of companies are bringing in, right? Focusing on these, right? So this is for typically the automotive or the tier 1, tier 2 vendors, sorry. If I look at hospitals, I mean, we did speak about ventilators and hospitals and all. There are categories as hospitals are growing. We are seeing a lot of hospitals going with building new hospitals. They require a lot of beds. They require a lot of construction activity on that. A lot of the capex is getting bought, right? So this is some of the categories where we have seen hospitals benefiting as part of the buying process itself as they grow. So that is one area we have seen from a hospital perspective. Today I try to negotiate and I'm trying to do this, but it's not happening. I need more vendors in the system, especially on indirects, to get this done. And this is the chart which tells you more savings come from more vendors. How do I find these vendors, right? So this is where you find that from the SAP Business Network Discovery tool, which has around 8 million vendors globally, 6 lakhs in India. And it's growing. It's now, in fact, close to 7 lakhs in India. And this is where I find these vendors for my indirect items, right? Now, interesting thing is, from a industry perspective, if I want to give the vendor base, somewhere around 265,000 in consumer products, high tech is 139,000, industrial manufacturing 133,000, life sciences 258,000, and so on and so forth. The specifications are scanned, everything is done. Now, how do I use that information? Now, this is where we convert that information into an intelligent catalog. Now, this is what you see typically in Amazon, but this is SAP screen. Right? This is we call SAP guided buying. You heard Mahindra and Mahindra also talk about guided buying. Now the idea is if you use what Aman showed, it's automatically generating the codes and all and converting into a catalogs where if I want to buy bearings, for example, it will give me that information in a catalog format. This is rate contracted, this is contracted by me with the vendor, right? And this is where I can just say add to cart. And this can not only be from an automotive perspective. This is my entire shopping cart or requisition, typical how I buy from Amazon, right? Or Flipkart. I don't have to worry about what it is. Everything is pre-configured. There is an approval workflow. This is a rate contracted information. Again, applicability is across industry. I can look at it. So it may be an Apple MacBook. Maybe if I'm talking professional services or even local buying, I want to look at it. It can be hospital-related, PPE kits, whatever I can. So all that can be put into a catalog. So if I want to look at the risk of my vendors, do I have a nice dashboard or a data insight about my vendors who are there? Can it be by category? So if I want to have a dashboard in terms of what's happening, 2 ways. I can have an alert coming in real time. Whatever news about my vendor published on the internet can come to me in real time, telling news was published in this country. Please look into it so that you can take a risk mitigation action. Now, what about the entire supplier collaboration? Okay, and this is the last part. Where I may allow my vendors to have a system where they can log in, send me invoices, look at the purchase order, or even look at scheduling agreements. So this is the vendor portal, let's call it, and this is where I am seeing a lot of information in terms of what is coming in, what is going out. I can see a lot of purchase orders or even scheduling agreements. If I'm receiving, I can see all of that. This is my dashboard as a vendor. I can see new orders coming in or change orders, items to confirm, component planning collaboration if I'm doing subcontracting, my scheduled payments, my remittance advices, all that is tightly integrated to SAP. I can also see this entire information through a mobile app as well, right? Thank you again. Happy to discuss more as we progress. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. Before I let go of you, I once again request you to be part of Global Bharat survey. QR codes are right before you. Do find a couple of minutes to fill up this survey and become part of this movement called Global Bharat Survey, which would be presented as a report to the Government of India as we culminate this campaign on June 23rd in Delhi. On that note, I, Praveen Rao, full-time employee of SAP and part-time host, says a good evening to you and look forward to meet you again. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.